Welcome back to Just Saying. Today's guest takes us from happiest place on earth straight into the kind of fairy tales that will leave you blushing, gasping, and begging for more. Brea Rose is an indie author who writes dark romance retellings with just the right amount of spice. Her debut, Her Dark Promise, a twisted Beauty and the Beast story, came out on Halloween 2024 and already has readers hooked. With Disney magic in her background and fire in her pen, Bria's work proves that happily ever after doesn't always look the way you expect. Today we're diving into her journey, her creative process, and why her stories just might be the escape moms like us have been waiting for. Hey friends, I'm here with Brea Rose. She's a romance author, correct?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Turns out we're a kin. No, we're from the same redneck town. We're not kin,
Yep.
trust me. We don't look alike, right? But we do come
A
from
little
the
bit art.
same southern or northern California. And so you're still living in California currently?
Yeah, I'm actually in our same town currently.
No, wait, at the front door you are? Okay.
Yeah.
I left like the moment I turned 18, but and I do go back, but for high school reunions. But I do miss
Yeah.
something. It's weird because I know we're going off topic here, but it's weird because I always feel now that I'm grown and I want to when we retire, I want to retire in a town similar to the one I grew up in. Isn't that weird? It's like I want to go back,
That
but I don't.
is.
I want to live near water, but I want to live like in a small town where everybody knows each other. So it's
Yeah,
like
I actually did the same as you. I went away. So I went to Disney for like 7 years and then I came back because COVID and I've been there ever since. But, I agree. It was weird coming back. I'm not gonna lie. At least living in a big city, it's definitely a different vibe.
So those who don't know, Disneyland in California is in Anaheim, right? Is it Anaheim? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I'm really bad at directions, but I'm really bad at like placing things on the map as well and remembering where Disney. It's not like I haven't gone to, and anybody in California, legit, probably has gone to Disneyland like a bajillion times. Because whatever kid you have, you go like that many times, and then the next kid you go that many times. You got a lot of repeat people at Disney, right? You were there, right, for a very long time, 7 years. So tell us about your time working at Disney and how does that shape in your storytelling currently?
So I have always been a Disney fan. I don't think I really had a choice. My mom had my nursery as the Fab Five as babies on clouds. So I
That's
stood no chance.
funny.
And I continued that. Like sometimes, parents will try to kind of like push certain things down your throat. Didn't have to push nothing on me because I was very excited. I was so for it. Until my mom was like, "Oh no, she actually might go away." Like, no, come back. I didn't mean it.
Right.
But working there was a beautiful, amazing experience. And I have drifted a little bit. Disney is supposed to be kid friendly. I know there are some things that kind of slipped between, for like subliminal message, like the whole thing. But I have niched down to being a dark romance writer. So
Oh, okay.
more of the darker, like Disney After Dark kind of thing.
Are you like retelling like the story in a twisted way, like in a dark twisted way, or how is Disney influencing you, like per se? Like, give me a kind of an example, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. So
Okay.
when I started writing, I'm like, what should I do? I want to stand out. And
Yeah.
the whole Disney retellings is such an untapped market. I mean, there are a lot of them and there's more coming out like daily, but really, I mean, there's not so much that it's so saturated, especially with certain stories, and there's so many stories with Disney.
Had a technical difficulty, but we're going to jump back in. Okay, so Bria, we were talking about. Okay, it was just for 2 seconds ago for my the audience, but for us it was a little bit time. So, but we were talking about how the
Yeah.
influences of Disney in your and the romance story retelling in your dark, but you went like a little darker version, like you're more like Ursula, right? Instead of like Mary
Yeah.
Poppins. Although I kind of like to see a dark Mary Poppins.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
So honestly, that's not a bad idea, and I'm going to ask my editor, like, what she thinks about that. So instead of a spoonful of sugar, maybe a spoonful, like, poison or something.
Oh
That
my
would be
God.
hilarious.
Yes. All right. I'll help you write it. No, I'm just
That should
teasing.
be, like, the title, A Spoonful of Poison. That's
Yes.
the title, A Spoonful of Poison.
Yes.
Okay, we got my next bestseller. It's New York Times. I'm so
Right.
excited.
I mean, everybody loves Mary
That's
Poppins,
actually
but they don't.
brilliant.
Mary Poppins is one of those ones that like you will watch it if it's on TV, but it's not the one that you go and buy at the thing. But it's such an old school. I mean, I loved it. Like and we all know the songs. Like Chim Chimney. No, just
So good. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Okay. So to answer your question, Disney is a huge influence in my life. I wanted to carry that with me because of course, I'm no longer working at Disney. And with retellings, you want to be careful and not have Disney like come after you. So I have marketed myself as a fairy tale reteller. And my first book is a dark romance, Wide Shoes, Beauty and the Beast retelling. Now, when I say that, hopefully everyone will see it with like the Beast portrait and everything.
yeah.
And so mine is with the twist. Belle's the Beast, Beast and Gaston are brothers who get trapped in her castle. Now I added magic, so you have to change the story a little bit, but you could still feel the magic that hopefully not Disney brings to the table, but hopefully they're I just, I definitely have changed the story around. So Disney has inspired me to want to recreate these stories now made for Disney adults. People who grew up with Disney, but are ready for some maybe morally gray characters, maybe ready for maybe the hero doesn't win at all, and who are these villains? They have a backstory, just like with Maleficent. We got to see how did Maleficent become who she is.
Right. My daughter loves that.
Did it again.
My daughter loves that one. They, it's funny because the little girls that loved all this sweet fairy tale stuff do love a little bit of the dark side. But I used to teach preschool, so I have run across a lot of kids that actually get a little scared. I think I had somebody afraid of Beauty and the Beast because she was afraid of the Beast when it first came out on VHS. We watched it in our classroom, and she was so
Yeah.
frightened, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Oh.
But anyways, everybody loves my daughter. Everybody loves like a little piece of that, the bad, because it's a little exciting and you want to see them being, you want to see the good conquer evil. And so that's what some of those stories usually are generally about. But can I ask you a question? Okay, so what was the moment when you realized that you wanted to turn these fairy tales? I mean, did you have an aha moment? Because I don't know if I caught that the last time you were talking about it. Was there like something that like, I mean, how did you come about that? Just if you wouldn't mind me asking. I'm sorry. I think you probably said it, but then I
No,
can't remember
yeah.
now.
The technical difficulties.
Yeah.
No, so I started writing in high school and then kind of put it away for a bit. Brought it back out, wrote the whole thing in 3 months. And at the time I was writing it with an ex-friend of mine. And she recently has like handed it over to me for like a project I want to do like in the future. But because of that, because she was like, hey, I don't have time to do it right now. I'm like, you know what? I want to continue writing. I have to do this. What am I going to write about? What am I going to do? And then the idea for, Her Dark Promise popped up in my head. I was in the shower actually, and it popped up, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And okay, that's awesome. I found my editor, and then she was the one who was like, we need to niche you down. We need because I'm like, oh, there's so many ideas. Like I don't really know what to do. I don't know what to write. I just have all these ideas. And um so she really was the one to be like, I think you should focus on Disney retellings, fairy tale retelling, and kind of have that be your thing. And then once people know you as this, then we can like eventually branch out and you can maybe do some like original stories. But really every story that I do is original in in a sense. I do change the story up a lot. I do use the elements
It's like in
of,
the spirit it's
the
in the
original
spirit
story.
of
Yeah.
it's like in the spirit
Yes.
of Disney, but not necessarily Disney. You don't think there's gonna be
Nope.
any, or have you looked into anything like infringement on that? Or because I know that the story is completely different, but because it is in the spirit of, could that be an issue?
So I do a lot of research and like, hey, what can I say? What can't I say? For example, I am writing a Pinocchio retelling that's going to be next. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do a story about a boy who is a doll, and it's set in Italy, in kind of like the region where Pinocchio was set.
Right.
And, so it's kind of more the spirit of, so like Being the Beast, it's set in a mystical place in France and a castle in the middle of the woods. I don't think Disney has, there's a lot of stories with the castle in the middle of the woods. I
Right,
don't
right,
use
right.
names. I changed names, I've changed ages, I've aged people up, I have added characters. I did get to put like Belle, like her name in the book because I changed it to Annabelle. And as a nickname I can
Ah,
use Belle. So it's a completely different name. Um, and yeah, so it's more of like using the main parts, like there is a ballroom scene, but it's a little chaotic.
ah,
Like there's,
kind of like the Red Wedding
yeah,
from
maybe,
Game of Thrones. I only say
maybe
that because I'm actually
it gets a little
rewatching Game of
crazy.
Thrones. I'm actually watching rewatching the Game of Thrones for like the third time, and so it just did my head. I'm sorry. 'Cause
Next season.
that was like a crazy scene. I mean, if you do something kind of, I mean, dark and kind of crazy. So
Yeah.
okay, so do you think that the fairy telling really lends itself, I mean, to the darker side? I mean, the dark retelling. I mean, I see that you're taking like sweet and joyful stuff and you're turning it into some dark and other dreary, but do you think that you can tweak that for pretty much any story, or do you think there's like certain ones that lend itself to that?
I'm sure there are ones that lend itself, but it's more of, for me, dark romance means kind of sprinkling and giving everyone some trauma. But, something to make, I always say trauma, but truly though, it's giving these characters real life issues. You know, um, like if you deconstruct all the Disney stories, there is the death of a family member, normally a mother. There is so everyone, not a lot of people can relate to the death of a loved one. People can relate to, for people who have been through it, Stockholm syndrome, Beauty and the Beast. If that, at the end of the day, people are like, oh no, Belle is going through major Stockholm syndrome. And I actually do a little joke about that. She's like, no, I forced you to be here. They're like, no, we want him. Like, yeah, yeah, because I forced you. So I do a little joke about that to kind of bring it up. Cinderella in the original, Grimm's fairy tale, cut off the toes. So there's parts of these stories that I can take out, but my whole thing about writing the darker fairy tales is to make them more relatable and know like not everyone is who says they're the hero is the hero. Everybody is multifaceted. We're we are what is the word I'm looking for? We have so many faces to us. I don't act the same way one person to other. Uh, Complex. We are complex beings,
Yeah, we called it
and
Two-Face back in the day. No, I'm just teasing.
yeah, that is. I do have some characters that are a little two-faced. But so we're all complex, and I think Disney doesn't deal with those types of complex things on a daily, whereas everybody in my book is complex. They're dealing with real life things. And so, for reviews, because I do read all of them or listen for people who like do videos, they say like, wow, this female main character, she is going through regret and anger and guilt and frustration, and she is vengeful and she wants revenge from the people, so there's a lot of like feminine rage inside of her, but she's also sassy and sexy and intelligent. So she's all of these things. And we can, people can be angry, but also sweet and happy, but also incredibly depressed. And so I kind of
Yeah, because not
I
everybody wear like me. I wear my personality on my sleeve. I act stupid and dorky all the time, and that is just me. And sometimes it's awkward, and people are like, "Do you have
yeah,
ADHD? What's wrong with you? Like, you're all over the place." I'm like, "I can't help it. This is just how I am." It sounds like you have a good balance of like the spice and suspense and like the
yeah.
emotional depth in your books.
Mhm.
I guess that's really hard to try to keep that balance throughout the whole story, but, it sounds like you're doing a good job. I mean, I'm trying to write a romance novel, and I'm like I said it I've been saying this for, like, the last 30 episodes, but I'm 5 chapters in, and I'm just like, "Now I feel like I gotta." They say, "Don't do this," they say, "Reread it." I feel like because 'cause I've actually put it down. Now I gotta go back and go, "What was I even thinking?" Or, "What was I saying?" Or, what direction am I going in?" But I kinda wanted to make mine, like, hot and steamy, like, I need a shower afterward. A book, but not crossing all the way over the line, but just barely, you know? All right, so we're back. We have another technical thing. Just bear with us. We're gonna get through this, I promise. Okay, so okay. Bria's got some writing. Is it technical or because I actually have a question about the publishing and how you're publishing independently, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I kind of wanted to get into that as well. And then so give me your little advice. I want to know. All these tips, I love them.
Okay, so I feel like people make things too complex. I think definitely like story structure, I'm not the expert in it because how I write is I write as a puzzle. So I actually just gave this advice to somebody recently, and I think it was like a big aha moment for me. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I don't have to do that." I'm like, "No, you don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want when it comes to writing. It's your book, and then hopefully you'll find an editor to help make sense of it all." I mean, that's what I did. But my biggest pieces of advice are write the parts that make you the most excited. Write the parts. Write the parts. Write the scenes. If a steamy scene pops up, you're like, oh, because for me, if I can't see it in my head, I cannot write it.
Right.
So whatever pops up, right? And don't worry about the fillers. And I kind of do I write in Google Docs. Don't know if that's right or not, but that's how I do it so far. And I'll put steamy scene between Bastian and Calathea in the woods. And then I'll write that scene. And then I'll do another header, uh, emotional scene between Soren and Calathea. Write that scene. And then I call them the boring or filler parts because of course every part has to be entertaining for people. But then I start kind of putting them as a puzzle. I'm like, okay, well, we have this and I have this, and I want them to go that way. How do I get there? So
Right.
it's more like that. And do not read anything that you wrote. Don't read through it until you're done with the entire thing. And
I
then,
have to go back though. I have to go back on mine because I actually don't
oh,
remember. I don't remember any of it. So
oh,
I'm like,
okay, that's fine.
it's been like a 3 or 4 months. And so I can't remember where I left off and where I was going. So I have to do that at least. But I get what you're saying. I wrote a book, but it was my memoir. So it just came in like flowed like in order of my life. So that was how I wrote that one. But I can see the benefit of going, I really want these major things to happen and then getting them out onto paper so that you don't lose that thought. Cause a lot of times the original thought is your first one. And so you want to get that out on and work through it and then pull it all together into the story and weave in the extra, like the fillings, like the scenery stuff. You want to get, you want them to feel like they're there in the moment with them. And so, but I also I want to do like a 4 book series. And so I kind of want to put little Easter eggs of the next book in my book. So I'm trying to do that as well, where the characters will be in the next book. Maybe the next book will be about these 2 characters that are in here, their love story
Mhm.
or whatever. Mine's about a steamy or an ER nurse and a steamy firefighter. So
Mm,
I don't read a lot of
I
romance
love
novels, so
that.
maybe I should probably do a little more research. But if I feel like if I read other people's stories and I might incorporate their stuff into my book, and I don't want to do that. I want to have it all my own thoughts, my own nasty thoughts. No,
No, no, no, no. I read for research because it inspires you. So you're
you
not
think?
copying. To
Okay.
me personally, because other writers had like said like, no, I don't read in my same genre. I'm like, why? Why don't you do that? Does it not give you inspiration? I'm like, oh, I loved that. I love because everyone writes, who did this to you? That is an enemies to lovers iconic quote. Who did this to you? Everyone puts it in their books. That is not a we're not copying. Everyone does it. Everyone has an enemies to lovers now. Everyone, there's no original thought. We are
Right.
constantly being consumed by media and posters and art and this, and we're being inspired by it. So don't look at it as copy and look at it as being inspired. Like this entire book, some could say this is a copy, you know, but it's not. I was heavily inspired and I put my own twist on it. So it's just more putting your twist.
Can I ask you a question? Okay, so like I know my stepdaughter, she's 32, I think. Oh my God. 93 she was born. So
Yep,
I have
32.
a yeah. My math skills really, I mean, I don't know how I got an
Well, I'm
MBA
93. That's
personally.
all I know. That's okay.
But I okay, so I know that she actually I might buy her your book just because I know she'd love it because she is a big
Oh,
Disney like fanatic. I mean, a lot. She used to go to Disneyland when she lived in Long Beach. So she would get like
mm,
pass that you can go like every day, and she would go like almost every day. Like she would go a lot.
yeah,
And but
people
she
do.
is like she's like you. She's the age that Disney was the most like I don't know. Like Disney was like for me, because I'm way older than you, but for me, Disney was 7 o'clock on a Sunday, and you got one movie every Sunday. And that's what you got. Like that was it. And then you got to go to Disneyland and see the characters, but it wasn't marketed like it was back in the 90s. And
Yeah.
so that you guys got a lot of that. So do you think that your book would be what other book do you think so like if they liked Harry Potter or if they liked they do like Disney, but what other books do you think that they would purchase that they know that they would like yours? Like how incomparable to maybe a different book out there that where they go, "Oh, if I like this one, I'll like this one too." Like yours. Does that make sense?
Yes. And
I
I
went
have
off somewhere, but I know there's a point
no,
in there somewhere.
no, that's a brilliant question. I have done a lot, a good handful of podcasts, and I've not been asked that question yet. And so I don't have an answer ready, but oh, goodness, what
But you know what I'm saying? Like if they
I
can
guess
compare
if
it like,
you like,
okay, okay, so we just had a little bit of technical difficulty, but I'm just going to let her off the hook because that was a question she may not know the answer to. I just wanted to kind of maybe compare it to somebody else, but I really think the reason why she can't answer the question is because there's no other book out there like this, like hers. And so right? We're in a winter. And so that is the reason why this book is I think I my like I was saying in the 90s, Disney it was such a prominent thing in our children's lives and for you millennials and I think that this book is going to do just really good where it's sitting right now. I think I want to get it for my stepdaughter because I think she would I mean, I'll read it too but I'll have to buy it and send it to her because she doesn't live near me. But I know that she would love it because she was big in Disney. So so tell me a little bit about the independent publishing and how is that working for you? Because I went a different route and it's not so great the way I went.
um, let's see. So my editor was the one who kind of broke it down for me because I did everything myself, which means researching everything myself and deciding how exactly do I want to go. And so she went through traditional publishing route. Um, and she broke it down for me. She's like, just letting you know, you are going to have a lot more creativity and more of a hands, I mean, not more of, it will be all on you for self-publishing. You're going to pay for everything. So if you want quality, do that. If you don't, you're still going to pay for it, right? So you can go that route, but just letting you know if you do want to do, because she's like, I know you want to do things real quick. I know you want to see your book on that shelf by the end of this month. You want to do things now and you want to publish so many things now. Now, traditional publishing, she was like, hey, just so you know, if we do decide to go that route, we can. But
Takes a long
normally
time.
it takes a long time. She's
Oh, sorry.
like, it could take anywhere between a year, 2 years to 10 years. You got to get an agent, and
It
they
took a
got to
year.
contact publishing houses. You've got to, pitch
Yeah.
yourself to all these,
Yeah. It's a long
so
process. It's a
it's a
pain in the
process.
ass. Yeah. I wanted to know, like, and it is easier to do it your way, I think.
Yes.
So you have to, for independently, you have to get an editor, you have to get a proofreader, right? Or do they do that? Or do they send it to their proofreader? Or do they have,
Um, everyone's
did you ever
different for
find your own
mine.
proofreader?
So it was and a friend of mine who kind of did that, but my editor and I was like tag team, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna go through this, I'll go through this part. Some beta readers, and even then, some things I caught some things actually recently. I'm like, oh, go in and just fix that real quick. Um, but yeah, no. So I did
Can I
find a
tell you something?
proofreader.
Can I tell you something? Okay, so when I did my book, it took me it was very quick. It took me 2 months. And I only did a few hours a day, but I'm a fast typer.
Yeah.
And but of course the rewrites took about 6 months before I submitted it to anybody. And you know what I used besides Grammarly, which helps,
Hmm.
is AutoCrit. It's all one word, CRIT, AutoCrit.
Heard of that.
And you put in your chapter or whatever, and it'll tell, or your whole document, and it'll tell you, actually I don't think you can put your whole document. Think I did it by chapter, but then they tell you how many times you use the word always, or like, or moreover, or whatever. And they're saying, like, you have 50 of these, take out 25 or take out 27 or whatever they feel is the acceptable amount. And then they'll give you other words that you can, possibly use in to make it still sound good. But I did that, and when after I put it all together and I gave it to my publisher, they're like, "Dang, this is written really good." They go, we don't really have any much more to, maybe a comma here and different things there, but the way I wrote it was really good. So if you, it's a really good tool if you're doing it on your own. I'm just saying that it worked for me that
Good.
way. Um, so I wanted to get, okay, so where can people find your book currently? Are you on Amazon and Barnes and Noble?
Yeah, so I am on Amazon, Barnes Noble, online, and then I just recently found out that I'm on Walmart.com,
Shut the
which is
front
so cool.
door. Well,
Yeah, you can see it right there. I'm just like, oh, this is so crazy. So not on the shelves
Walmart.com?
yet, but online. Yep, Walmart.com.
Okay, so wait. Your book is out currently,
Okay.
but it's not on the shelves yet,
Okay.
right? Is what you're saying. What's the name of the book that's out currently? Say it again. The name of your book?
Her Dark Promise.
Her
Sorry
Dark
about that.
Promise.
My book
That's
fell.
okay. Okay, Her
Her Dark
Dark
Promise.
Promise. Do you guys see that? I love the cover, by the way. I love
Thank
covers
you.
that are not cartoon covers. I'm over the illustration thing. I think that getting back to photography and like that type of thing is like, I'm all for that. Like, I want some hunky fire chief on my cover. Like, I want some muscles and, I just do.
Yep.
Can I ask you, okay, lightning round. Okay, so favorite Disney princess and why?
Beauty and the Beast because she's smart. She takes no sass from the Beast, and she definitely was a role model when I grew up. I'm
Okay, do you like
biased.
just saying. Do you like paperback or Kindle?
Paperback, Kindle for travel.
That's true. Do you know that I still have my very first Kindle that
I
somebody
have
gave
enough.
me? I have the Kindle. You know that little skin you used to put on the back of it? So like I have a sticker on the back of it. I don't think I ever actually used the damn thing. So I think it's still like brand new. I wonder if I could sell that, or if there's still even, you could still use them. I wonder. It's like the very first version of it
Probably.
that ever came out. Like, isn't that crazy?
That's
Okay.
crazy.
Okay, so tell me your dream writing spot where you feel the most comfortable and you love writing. Like in your
Oh,
room,
the dream
at the
one.
yeah, like where would you want to be if you were writing and you had no distractions?
Probably want to be in my room. I get distracted way too easily.
Me
So
too.
yeah, probably my room right now. I've been writing while simultaneously watching One Piece and just cranking it out.
Okay, so I love Ally McBeal. So if you had a theme song, what would it be? I don't know why I'm asking this, but maybe a
No,
Disney
okay, so
theme song, or it could be any theme song. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't have to
a
be Disney.
Disney. So my theme song right now, it's Dove Cameron's "Too Much." because a lot of people have said like, "Oh, you're a little too much. You talk too much. You're too nice. You're too this.
That
You're
is not
too
a
that."
thing.
Uh, I know. So she wrote a song that basically is like an anthem for people who get told that they're too much for people, and so I feel like that's my anthem.
I think that's me in a nutshell. I think I am too much, but that's why I started a podcast.
So I write books. So I'm gonna be on the red carpet one day. Watch
I'll
out.
probably never be on the red carpet, but I will continue to build a community of moms out there that just like to hear,
Yeah.
like to want to be a fly on the wall and want to hear two people talk about something other than their life. Okay, so we're gonna put a pin in it here, but they can find you in Barnes and Noble, everywhere, and Walmart.com, people,
Yeah.
Walmart.com. But Amazon is like the best because if you have Prime, it's like free delivery. Like that's the
Fact.
best. Yeah, and then yeah, for sure. Also, do you have any social media out there or anywhere that people can go and voyeur at your life? No, I'm just teasing.
Yes, I call them my stalkers, so you can
Yeah.
definitely stalk me. I've branded myself really well, so everything is author Brea Rose. And that's my website, that's my TikTok, my Instagram, my threads. Everything is author Brea Rose. BRIAROSE.
Awesome. And it's so easy to remember. Mine, they think it's an I. It's Danelle, Jessica Danelle, but they're like, Daniel? Darnell? No, no, it's Danelle. Danelle.
Danelle.
Yeah. You can also go to my website, jesssane.net, NET, and go down to this episode and look up Bree's name and click, and it'll take you straight to her website or her book. And I'm also on all the social medias. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X. You say it. I'm on it. Go friend me, like me, be a part of the community. And Bria, thank you so much for being on the show today. We've had a little bit of issues, but it was fun talking with you. And I mean, I think we're kindred spirits. I'm a little much, just saying. And
Me
I don't
too.
think either one of us would get a word in edgewise if we were in the same room together, but
Gather around when the sun dips low, talking about the days we used to know. VCR tapes and dial-up tones, raising kids living with achy bones. Leather jackets and big hair days, now it's carpool lines and PTA. Neon dreams turn into schoolyard fights, but our hearts glow in retro nights. We are Gen X, living both worlds. From cassette tapes to a digital world. Parenting now with a nod to the past. The retro love we know will last. We are Gen X, living both worlds. From cassette tapes to a digital world. Parenting